The movies, when you get halfway, the story changes. And you might think to yourself, well, that's kind of lame. It doesn't go with the manga anime. But if you read the book, the novel, L's World, it goes real, like it's a nice touch.
Cool. All right,
it is.
So we are live now. We are live.
Is Jeremiah frozen for you, or is that
he's making the post?
Yeah.
But okay. With that being said, once I finish the manga, I'm gonna watch the anime, and then I'll check out the live action movies. And Jeremiah, what I really need from you, this is what I need from you. I need you to send me a link where I can find the original dub for Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Can't say that's illegal.
Yeah, you.
Huh?
That's illegal. Don't say that.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
are we live?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously it's going to be illegal. Why wouldn't we do it legally, guys? Everything has to be done.
I'm going to send you this box set of the original dub voices, okay? That's what I'm going to do.
Really? I'll take you up on
yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't know how old you are, Brent. I'm assuming.
32.
Yeah, you're
old enough to know.
I mean, it's no secret that back in the day we didn't have like access, and we had to use the dark webs.
We didn't have the Funimations and the Crunchyrolls. No, I get it. Yeah.
So,
but speaking of which, though, I just want to say, go back.
Dude, seriously, if you're willing to do that, I'll pay for shipping.
Send this?
Yeah.
Like, man.
I'll pay for it.
Like, man.
Normally, I'm sure. I'm sure we can find other ways for you to pay that.
I can find it on eBay.
Hey, you called Isaac's bluff. You called my
bluff. You called my bluff. Like, man.
Maybe I'll see if I can find it on eBay.
Oh, no. You could get... No, dude. Like, shit. Well, okay, first off, let's get the introductions going, and I'll explain this and why. Normally,
we'll talk about it later.
If it didn't cost what it cost, I would, but this costs what it cost. But okay. So, anyways, welcome back to the DLC podcast, where we talk games, movies, all things in between. I'm Isaac. That's Jacob.
What's up?
Juicy's frozen, but he's here.
What's up?
And then, of course, we have the anime connoisseur, the anime god himself, Brent, also known as Work in Progress, also known as
Call me an anime god. I'm still new to it. I've only been into it for a year, but I appreciate it. I'm humbled. Yes. Thanks for having me back, guys.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
So quick story on this. Quick story, because we actually had a podcast on this. Quick story. This cost me $150, and the only reason I paid $150 is because the basic, the $40 one of this only included the Netflix dub. I had to pay $150 to get the original dub.
Where did you get that though? Where did you get it?
I got it from what's it called, Jacob? Stuff Anime or
no, rightstuff.com.
Right Stuff.
But don't spell stuff with two F's. It's one F.
Yeah, it's one F. I can send you the link.
Does that include the Netflix dub too?
Yes.
Or is it really? Okay.
And it comes with the movies and other stuff. And the only gripe people have about it doesn't have Fly Me to the Moon. Which, for someone that didn't watch the series, you should be fine. I'm fine, even though I did watch the series. So it's whatever. I just played it in the background when the scenes end. But I actually liked it to have Ray's theme, because it actually suits the tone for the end credit scene. So I'm kind of chill with that. But yeah, Juicy's back.
Yeah, I see it here. I see it here. It's right, STUF, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What a weird way to start off a podcast. But I see it for 175. Maybe I'll have to pick that up.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor, by the way.
Maybe one day. Because I actually bought another set of Mobile Fighter G Gundam from them. And remember, did you see it, Shorty? Had like the patches of all the.
No. I don't remember anything about your life. I don't.
That's true. You're
usually.
Right. I'm beneath you.
Like 30% of what you tell me, like, sticks, and then I just kind of make up the rest.
Makes sense. I appreciate that. So, anyways, the reason we brought the anime connoisseur is because the anime connoisseur, we want to get your impressions on the Funimation and Crunchyroll merger.
Okay.
So go on, lead us off, man.
Okay, so here's the thing. So before I was super into anime and manga, like I heard about this. I heard about Sony buying It was Sony buying Crunchyroll. They've owned Funimation for some time now, and I was like, okay, well that's cool. Sony now essentially has a monopoly on Western anime. Which, you know, there's good and bad things for it. I mean, we're seeing a good thing for it right now with the merger of the two, and now we only need one subscription service, which everyone likes, right?
Mhm.
Everyone likes having one subscription service. Screw these Peacocks and screw these CBS Pluses, and it's annoying. It's a pain in the ass. So yeah, it's so. But what blew my mind? So okay, so we all knew that the merger was going to happen sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
One, I didn't realize that it was going to be this sudden. Like literally, they're like, "Oh, we're doing this right now." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I think the acquisition of Crunchyroll was what, like August of last year. It wasn't too long ago.
It was like maybe mid last year, something like that. Yeah. But what blew my mind the most, and I don't know which one of you two who I was talking to about this on Instagram, but that was you. Okay, so I'm really surprised that they're putting it under the Crunchyroll name as opposed to Funimation.
Yes.
But I've been thinking about it, and about our conversation about Vic, right?
The Vic Monica controversy was definitely, I think, a hand in this. You know, it made the West look really bad.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I will say, because I was surprised too, because I mean, it felt like Crunchyroll and Funimation kind of had beef, and it felt like Crunchyroll. I know a while back, before the drama that happened at Funimation, Crunchyroll got into some legal issue with their animes, and it looked like they were going to go downhill. And that's when I first heard talks about Funimation acquiring them.
Well, okay, so Sony acquired
Right.
Crunchyroll. Okay.
Crunchyroll.
Right.
Funimation didn't necessarily acquire it.
I think what it means is he thought that this was all moving toward, especially after the Crunchyroll issues, to Funimation just taking over Crunchyroll and becoming
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like Crunchyroll losing the label and Funimation being the star child.
So
but ever since the drama and the allegations and all that with Funimation, Crunchyroll has just been kind of. I still am like in the as a kid in the corner, just like watching this, just waiting for his time to just like pop out and be like, "Boom! I'm still here."
Yeah. No, so
it's definitely a PR thing, in my opinion. Yeah. It's a PR thing. Funimation has gotten bad press in the past several years with certain allegations coming from certain people. Now, I'm not an expert on that matter, so I don't really want to talk about it. You know, at least I can't really say too much about it because I don't really know much about it. But I do know that they have had some PR issues, and by going into Crunchyroll, I think that will help put people at ease when it comes to what kind of anime subscription service that they want to go with.
Yeah. So for me, I had a kind of mellow reaction until I digested in my head. So for me, growing up, it was always Funimation, right?
Right.
Like that. Yeah. That was the label for anything anime.
I mean, especially for us.
Oh, it was Viz Media and all them, but yeah, Funimation came out a little.
No. Like for us growing up in Dallas in the DFW, and the two of the major anime conventions being in Dallas,
and with Funimation coming from Dallas,
yeah, like Funimation was like the image of anime for us.
Yeah, so back up, Juicy, and get back in your place, all right?
Sorry, Dad.
No, so anyway, Funimation was just, you say anime, I think Funimation, right?
Yeah,
and you know, like what was it? Maybe 2013, I guess 2013 or 14 is when, for me at least, Crunchyroll kind of like made an appearance, right? And Crunchyroll was always just that. It was an anime service that had Naruto. It It had a lot of ones I watched, but it also had lesser quality anime. Where I was kind of like,
for the longest time, I thought Crunchyroll was a bootleg site.
Okay, so
it was. It was. Like, this is well before 2014 stuff like that. It was a bootleg anime site that the people fought for. Like, but it's bringing it to the West. It's bridging the gap. Don't take it away. There was such a beautiful come together to protect this, just for it to sell out. So
you remember me mentioning Crunchyroll getting into a lot of
okay.
That was why, because they were a bootleg website. Because let's face it, back in the day, that's how we got our anime.
Yeah,
we went to these sites, and Crunchyroll.
I originally thought Hulu was a bootleg site.
Yeah. All right. So let me.
Hulu.
All right. Hold on. So let me follow. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. So, like, seeing it, because when I saw the merger, I was like, okay, so I guess now everything's gonna come together. Everything's gonna join Raw and Unity. This is Sony's anime Game Pass.
There you go. I like that.
And like I said, I didn't have no reaction to it until I actually sat down and thought. So, Funimation for me was all the quality animes, right? Growing up, and like I said, Crunchyroll had that. They had Shippuden, they had some Bleach stuff, and whatever else they had, but it was always just free with a crap ton of ads. And I was like, you know what? It ain't worth the ads. I'd rather just go find a legal website and watch it legally with all the ads. And
respect.
Yeah, and then and then I just let like Crunchyroll just like to the side. And then of course, years later, I start seeing people talking about, oh, Crunchyroll has this, Crunchyroll has that. And then I'm starting to see some animes that I want to get into, but Funimation doesn't have it, and Crunchyroll does. But it wasn't enough to pull me over. But I was considering, like, maybe like, I could get the 1 month and then cancel once I've watched whatever I want to watch, right? And now with this merger, it's like a godsend. Because let's say, for instance, I'm watching My Hero, right? Or I'm watching the latest and greatest animes right now. Sure. But it's nice that I could just say, you know what? I kind of want to relax, throw something on in the background. And I mean, Jacob knows one of my favorite animes is Bleach. Like, I could put Bleach on, and it's there. I have access to it. It ain't like Funimation where I don't have access to it. So I have access to it. I think, because I don't think Funimation had Bleach necessarily, or Naruto.
Netflix had Bleach. Netflix at one point had Naruto.
Right.
Netflix actually was smart. I mean, that goes into a whole new category of when Netflix like, let's jump into animes, like smart move, random streaming service.
Yeah, when they did it, I mean, that's how I got introduced to a whole bunch of other animes like Gurren Lagann and stuff like that. But anyways, with this merger, like I said, it's a godsend, because so now I'm paying $10. Well, for all you Funimation people, they sent a link out via email, and then you get 60 days free. So I'm splurging on that. But $10 to get literally every single anime in the world, just in your fingertips.
Yeah.
And not only that, I think, I mean, I don't know. Like, I read an article where I think some of the movies are going to start dropping there as well, like in tandem with the theaters, I think. So, really? Yeah, I mean, I scanned through it. I could be wrong. It could just be a fantasy.
No, that would be very interesting because of the push they've been doing for the whole, let's do a full season of something, then release a movie to see if it's going to actually stick.
Well, no, because the thing is, Jujutsu Kaisen's having a movie, right? And aren't they going to stream that?
So, Jujutsu Kaisen is having a movie. I haven't heard anything about them streaming at the same time. I know that the movies come out for stream. Oh. For instance, like Mugen Train was out for stream, but I don't remember if it was out the same day or maybe a week afterwards.
Oh. But
no, Mugen Train came onto Funimation well after it hit the theaters.
How about say
it could have been? It could have been an article that maybe someone through a fan like they would be nice. I kind of
They
just
might.
skimmed through
I mean,
it.
you might be right. You might be right with it. I don't know why they would. I mean, I guess they'd be copying Disney Plus with the whole like you can watch, like
Yeah.
you can watch this movie here, or you can watch, or even HBO does that. Like you can watch it in theaters, or you can watch it at the house. You know, they did that
I'm not-
with.
I am on Crunchyroll's website in regards to Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I don't see anything about it being released on Crunchyroll because I'm literally reading this on Crunchyroll. Like I'm reading a Crunchyroll article about the movie, and they're not saying anything about it being released in
And
theaters.
I wouldn't see any reason why they would. They could,
yeah.
but I wouldn't see a reason why they would.
Yeah, then that's like
Personally.
I mean, that's like it could have been. I mean, I guess whatever I read was just a guy fantasizing what possibilities could happen. Either way, I mean, Jacob knows I don't really watch anime movies. I mean, nowadays they're kind of relevant, but back when we were younger, anime movies were their own entity, so we never really cared for them personally. But all in all, the merch is great. It's nice having the animes I grew up with next to the animes I'm watching now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing. And I mean, and plus the price to $10.
So go ahead. Finish your.
No, that's like for 10. If you're an anime lover, $10, that's nothing. And
the fact that it's actually merging, the fact that we're actually bridging the gap, that was my biggest thing with the Crunchyroll and then the Funimation. It's like, so they're both owned by F and Sony, which means I'd have to pay $20 for access to everything. For example, if you're watching Fire Force on Crunchyroll, I mean, this happened to me a couple of weeks ago. It's like you're watching on Crunchyroll, it's Japanese. But what if you want to hear the English voice actors? I kind of did, because they've got a lot of voice actors that came from the original English Soul Eater, you know? Well, they don't have that on Crunchyroll. Yeah, I got to have Funimation. I was like, well, what sucks here? You know, like I had to go legally find it somewhere.
So I'm really okay. So that's one of two things that I want to bring up. So the next thing is like, okay, so what's going to happen to the Funimation dub actors who are all employed by Funimation? You know, I'm sure that I honestly think that they're all going to get to keep their jobs. It's my understanding that Funimation's just going to get rebranded into Crunchyroll. I'm sure, you know, for example, I'm sure that Christopher Sabat will always have a presence. I'm sure that the Funimation offices in Texas are going to stay there, and they're just going to get a Crunchyroll name put on there.
If they even change the name, they might just like. It's not saying that Funimation is dying out. It even said that most anime will be here by the end of March. It could be that Funimation keeps its name as a producer, you know, because Funimation isn't just the streaming service. Yeah. It's also one of the major like producers of certain things, you know.
I haven't thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah, because Funimation doesn't just stream, because before streaming was there, Funimation released DVDs, they released products.
It wasn't Funimation you should be watching. Like that was it before the streaming.
I mean, the name itself still carries a whole bunch of weight behind it.
They were a gateway pretty much for anime from Japan to to America.
You know,
but not just anime, product too, because they would sell product.
You know what I see this kind of as? It's gonna be like it's completely different in a way, but it's kind of like, you know how Facebook got in trouble and they changed their name to Meta by Facebook. I feel like this is kind of like, this is what this is, with like Funimation's gonna be in the background, but they're just gonna put Crunchyroll on the sticker, just Crunchyroll, guys. Powered by Funimation. Yeah,
Funimation's still gonna be it. But what were you saying, Jacob? Finish your stuff.
I forgot.
So here's I've been thinking a lot about the Funimation Crunchyroll thing, and honestly, it actually is a really smart move. Funimation is widely known to most people who do the mainstream animes. And of course, Funimation has been grabbing a lot of different animes that aren't as mainstream nowadays. But Crunchyroll was the place to go for pretty much a little bit of both, but a lot of bit of the seasonal animes when that became a thing. When if you watch some videos out there to talk about the maturity, if you will, of anime and manga lovers and stuff. You go from the mainstream animes to the top 3, and then you start watching everything else to the 3-episode thing. But then you go to the seasonal. Like, I've got to watch the winter drops. I've got to watch the summer drops. I've got a few friends who do that as well. Crunchyroll was a major supplier of that, you know.
I do.
And Crunchyroll is more widely known when it comes to that than when it comes to just like most animated. Like, the first thought you don't think, that might be on Funimation. Like, if you hear about, like, when I first heard about Fluorescent Eyes Vivi, you know, like, I was like, that might be on Funimation. No, I was like, that's probably a Crunchyroll thing, you know. And I mean, it was on Funimation, but it's just like my first thought was Crunchyroll. But that's where I kind of focus with it, and I'm sure that's a majority of the world of people who were just heavy anime watchers who wanted to keep up with the most interesting things, who wanted to jump on not just the hype trains, but some of the sleeper anime, who wanted to just immerse in these things, you know, watch Kiss Him Not Me, different things like that. So I think it actually was a really smart move. The Monica Vic thing aside. Go ahead. Sorry, Jacob.
No, I mean, I'm going to touch off what you said about the, like, people loved Crunchyroll. Like, when Funimation first started, it was a huge thing, and a lot of people loved it. But then I feel like even before the controversy, the bad PR a few years ago with the voice actors, there was already hate building up for them because they became this thing where, like you were saying, we want to watch this anime, Funimation should have it, and they did it. But Crunchyroll did. And Funimation had like this air to them, kind of like, we're going to bring what we want to bring. Where Crunchyroll was, oh, y'all want this anime? Yeah, let me get that for you.
So like, entitled versus fan service.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Funimation also is the one who pretty much kind of overtook. So in the West over here, it wasn't just Funimation back in the day. You had Viz Media, Ocean Dub, a bunch of places that touched onto not just America, but North America as a whole, but the West, you know. And for, like, now it's Funimation, but people still think, like, man, but I used to watch, like, I love the Viz Media stuff. I know what happened there. I miss Ocean Dub for a lot of things, you know.
Gonzo, you know.
And all these awesome things, and now you've got Funimation. That's,
my thing. Funimation started to become like this monopoly, and and a lot of fans started to hate on them because they were more about what they wanted to produce instead of what the fans wanted. And I mean, this even goes back to when, like, way before we got off topic of it with Crunchyroll. Like, Crunchyroll started as a backdoor website that was made for for to watch animes we couldn't get.
By the fans, for the fans.
Until we could make money off of them.
and I remember their way to avoid a lawsuit was, while you're watching this, please go support the creators and buy the DVDs, buy the mangas. Like, they were advertising you to go buy it. And then when the lawsuit hit, they were like, hey, we never claimed to own this stuff. And like Jeremiah was saying, the fans actually, like, riled up to support Crunchyroll because we knew if Crunchyroll went down, we wouldn't have access to all these other animes. So I feel like Crunchyroll just got like a huge fan base that loves them, where Funimation kind of got this fan base of, well, we kind of have to support Funimation because we want anime.
It's a typical mainstream versus underground. Like, that's what it is. And
I mean, but it was smart.
Hey, props to Crunchyroll from going to this like bad, like backdoor website.
They're the kings of anime now.
No, have you seen the so the CEO comes, like, they're looking forward to it. This is the dream. Like, it was so professional, and then like there was like 2 cents where he's like, "This is the dream, baby," and I'm just like, you deserve that. Yeah. Y'all deserve that. Because, like, one way to avoid loss, I wanted to kind of touch on that real quick, and then I'll toss it back. But was that finally they're like, okay, fine, we got to start dealing with ads. We got to start dealing with a subscription. But instead of making it the $7 subscription like everybody else was doing at the time, 6, 7, whatever, it was like $5, and you got everything, no ads, no nothing like that. I jumped on that. And I know most people to support that because it's the place to go for anime. A lot of people at the time, Netflix was an amazing thing. definitely put Blockbuster out of business. But I'm just saying.
And Blockbuster got a bottom too. That's the funny thing.
But when Crunchyroll was out, like Crunchyroll is the Netflix for us. All these other people have some anime. This has most, if not all, and it's and so yeah, everybody support it. And nowadays, when it's like Crunchyroll, now I got to pay $12 to watch. This sucks, but I'm here. Like it's like, but and then when you got to compare it to like Funimation, or you see the small, like I actually get excited on streaming services when I see anime on there, like actual, like different than just the main big. For instance, when HBO Max, when I finally got into that and I saw they had like a bunch of things, I'm like, oh wow, okay, they had freaking Max, Tower of God. Also, dude, they don't have them anymore. Good, they're gone now.
No, so HBO Max was pretty good.
HBO Max, that's how I was introduced. I haven't finished Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's where I first started watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Was on.
Oh yeah, well, they don't anymore. Like their anime collection's gone now because I think Crunchyroll was a part of them. It was a Crunchyroll hub, and it makes more sense now. I didn't even think about that. Now they're gone because of that. Yeah. Like, hold on, we about to get it all.
I found.
I mean, it's what Disney did with Netflix.
Avengers on Crunchyroll.
Hey, Tokyo Revengers is good.
Tokyo Revengers is really good.
I will say this.
It's really good, man.
I will say this as a side note, non-anime related, but we did mention HBO. If you guys haven't watched Spawn on HBO, I recommend it. I continue back to anime.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the Seth MacFarlane that cartoon, dude.
HBO Max is where is like how I get my South Park now.
HBO Max cured me of my syphilis. Oh, I thought we were just like promoting, not sponsored.
Here's another interesting question that I want to pose to you guys. What do you think this merger means for cable networks such as Toonami and Adult Swim and Cartoon?
Toonami is already dying.
Okay, so first off, to answer that, Toonami isn't Toonami from back in the day, right? It never recaught that former glory. Let's get that apart.
Toonami without what's it called? Toonami without
Cowboy Bebop.
What's up?
Toonami without Tenchi Muyo is
Tenchi Muyo, Kenshin without some of the yeah. I mean, you gotta have Idiocracy playing at 4 a.m. in the morning, double time. Otherwise, what's the point of waking up to pee? Like, I won't ever do that anymore if I can't hear. Oh man,
I'm gonna wet the bed now. I refuse to get up.
Yeah. No. I'm just gonna lay there and be like, this is my fate.
Look, so but when it comes to so obviously network television as a whole is already dying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it gonna impact it even more than what's already been like? Because the merger is just getting two entities put them together. Like you were saying, Crunchyroll was already bundled with HBO Max. If you had that, you already had access to it. Netflix had anime. Funimation was there, so I don't see it making much of a big impact in that. And
it's definitely a smart business play. It's going to make an impact.
No, but not in the sense of like viewers, right? The only reason I say that is because I'm thinking on the broke side of it, because I was on that side of it, and there's people out there that I know can't afford subscriptions or don't even have the best internet, so all they have is Toonami. So, I mean, they still have their thing, but
okay. So there is very little out there that don't like Toonami is only staying alive because of memes and April Fool's joke.
Pretty much.
That's the only reason.
No, exactly.
So here's the thing: saying, it could be. If I can get 1 gig up and 1 gig down fiber optic internet out here in the middle of effing nowhere, people can get
language cap. God,
people can get internet. Like people can get internet and can get these services. I just think that
definitely.
I know. I'm talking
about this after, but myself and JNL understand exactly where you're coming from. Okay,
I'm part of that group too. Let's not forget that. I don't even get a gig.
So anyways,
I don't even get a gig. So if anything, you guys have more than I do. I'm stuck at 100 megabits
Don't speak to us, peasant, with your 500 megabits. Sit down.
It's only 100, and I only get 60 of it.
That's
I don't
actually
even know why
not
you're
all that
talking to
bad.
us. You lower your voice when you're speaking to us. Then that's what I'm hearing.
I will say this.
So-
I will say this. Like nowadays, like I don't know what's gonna happen to the cable, like Tsunami and whatnot. I feel they're gonna still stick around for at least a little bit longer.
Oh yeah.
But the fact is, like, you can watch anime anywhere now. Like I literally saw a kid watch anime at the library.
Yeah.
Like he literally logged into their computer and was watching anime.
Listen, when
So
I first started watching anime and stuff, Toonami is what really brought in with Moltar at first with me, and then it goes into then it went into Tom and all the different versions. Of course, I started that with we want to watch Dragon Ball Z, Ronin Warriors. I want to watch Rurouni Kenshin, Tenchi Muyo, Trigon. What's that? You know, like it was really cool, really good. After a while, especially in high school, okay, I love Bleach, I love Naruto and all them. I'm definitely watching it for Tom. I'm definitely watching it because there was this episode going on in between it randomly. Like you'd be watching an anime and suddenly it cuts in and Tom's just like, I'm gonna start everything. He's like, oh, what commercial is this? Someone's hacked us?
That's DeMarco,
Katie,
right?
where are you? And you yeah, where he has to fight that entity and it was just randomly happens. Like, what happened next? And it's like, back to your program. Like, I don't want to go back to my program. I've seen Inuyasha. What's going on, Tom?
That was dope. And I will say one thing that I do miss from Funimation, and I told Jacob this like a week or so ago, and I was just reminded of it scrolling through Instagram, where the Adult Swim bumps.
No, and that's a huge revival for it too.
You mean from Toonami?
No, it's Adult Swim.
No, it's Adult Swim.
It's Adult Swim.
It was Adult Swim.
Or Adult Swim. Well, I thought you said Funimation.
So yeah, well,
TikTok
really took off with TikTok really took off with that. So another thing though that Toonami brought to it, and they're still doing it, are the little music videos they would make. One of my favorites is Promises, Broken Dreams.
I know what you're talking about. Dude,
a boy has a right to dream, like the stuff like that. And even nowadays, they do some pretty fire things. One of my favorites is a reverse of that. It might be, I think it's Broken Promises is the reverse, where it pulls in Iron Blooded Orphans clips and stuff like that, and it's just so good. Like they talk about bullying, they talk about standing up for what's right. It's like life is hard, and they pull in some One Punch Man backstory clips and stuff like that. Toonami is great as its own entity.
If more people would have watched those things, we would have a lot less conflict in this world.
I really feel it.
Honestly,
Putin needed to watch some Toonami in his life. If he would have done that, like he would have learned that a boy has the right to dream. Okay.
Honestly, if Toonami somehow, some way just gets bought out and put into Crunchyroll, at that point, it's just over.
It's a wash, baby.
It's just interesting because there is no sign of Toonami as of now getting the dub for Entertainment District Arc, and that apparently was a big hit to them. As far as like their winter lineup goes. So like, what do you think this means? Do you think they're going to get the Paranormal Liberation arc for My Hero Academia later this year? Do you think that they're going to get?
I mean, from what I get out of that, all I'm thinking, one of the entertainment arc wasn't that great, but
it's
all I'm thinking is that
it's a bridge to something better. Like that's like Mugen Train. And
it was beautiful, though. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful aesthetically. It is amazing. But I don't like the fact that they made Tanjiro underpowered. I don't see why he can't move the moon by crying right now. I wish he could too. But
to answer your question, I feel Toonami, if Toonami doesn't get those rights, I feel they'll just get a different anime. Because I don't think that's the first time it's not. They started an anime and then they didn't finish it. They lost the contract. And something happened, they couldn't sign it, and then they just put a new anime. I'm trying to think of what anime it was because I remember watching it, and then it just stopped popping up, and I was so pissed off. And I think Full Metal Alchemist was one of them because
Are they
you got.
getting,
Brotherhood.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, because you got towards the end, and then it just stopped, and then they stopped showing it, and then like 6 months down the road.
You mean original Full Metal?
Yes, original.
They did finish original Full
I
Metal.
don't think it was Brotherhood.
No.
But they never.
I want to say they started it and they got towards the end. They stopped it for 6 months and then they came back. And so my thing is, just because they don't get it now doesn't mean it won't come back later.
Yeah, I mean Bleach.
Wow.
Bleach took a year off. No, a little over a year off before it came back on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Can we all just take time to appreciate though that they at least didn't play repeats of the same episodes up to a certain point, so I could watch the Frieza saga 7 times and do it word for word for word for word.
Yeah.
Like,
I just saw that Toonami does have the dub for Attack on Titan final season part 2.
oh,
Dude,
that's a good one.
That's a good comment.
That is.
But thank God it's not exclusive. I did read earlier that it has the English dub did start on Funimation earlier in the middle of February. So it's not like it's not exclusive. That's the only thing that concerns me is dub exclusivity on Toonami, because that's just like, that is like the most nightmare scenario. So don't mind me. I was really frustrated that I couldn't watch I couldn't watch the War of the Underworld Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Onlineization.
Yeah, it was trapped in Toonami prison.
In Toonami prison, yup, like it was trapped there. There's nothing you could do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't have cable, so that wasn't happening. I have broken the hearts of a few of my family members who asked me every Saturday, like, "Did you watch Toonami?" I was like, "I did not," but I watched it legally, and they're just like, "You have to support it." And I know I'm just coming in for a cut-in, but I do want to say this. I appreciate you, Whip. I appreciate you bringing this up, because Toonami, like Toonami as a whole, like what's going on with it, and the reason why is because I was there when it started again.
Oh yeah,
April 1st. The April Fool's joke. Yeah. I was at home. I was just chilling.
That was back in 2014 or something, right?
Yeah, 2014, April 1st, 2014, I believe. It may have been 2013. May have been 2013. Yeah, we'd have to look. But either way, I was sitting there. It was, it'd been a long night. I was like, I'm just going to chill, go to bed. What's Adult Swim got going on? I see Trigun. I'm like, the fuck is this? Language juice. The crap is this? And I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. And so I was like, did they bring Trigun back? And then it does the I mean, Tom's there like, no. And then like, so I'm watching, I'm getting into it. It took me a good hour before I looked at the date, and I'm like, this isn't funny. This is not a funny joke. And it sparked this just wave of people demanding Toonami back to the point where
I vaguely remember that.
Stephen Bloom, like the guy who voices like Tom, pretty much comes out. Spike Spiegel comes out and just goes, "Yo, if you want it back, demand it. Take what's yours." And I'm like, "What a G!" Because he sees a job opportunity. He sees a job opportunity, and I love this the most because it's the hardcore troll. Everyone demanded this and stopped watching after the second night. So,
look, if Toonami,
fact that it's going. I mean,
Toonami wants to continue its success, they need to put Fire Force in.
That's not going to happen.
It's not, but they should. There's so many people who have not watched Fire Force and need to watch Fire Force.
It's the greatest underrated anime at the moment.
Yes.
I think I'm going to hunt it down.
I personally feel like if they want to, I have two thoughts for Toonami. One, you should do the same thing you've been doing, where back in the day, where you pretty much play it all over again. It'd be the same lineup but a little later. Do that, but instead start it with the dub, and then for those hardcore weebs, start the sub in the evening. So get rights to both of them and do that. Two, throw panty in stocking with garter belt. The end of Guy Next, the start of Trigger, you put that shit on there, you push the bill, and I'm not taking back the S word, you push the bill, you push that bill, you eat that horse, you do it. It is like do something like that. You already did Epic Pop Team Epic or whatever, which is a horrible show and pretty much was your bronze medal to not getting anything relevant. And right now they've got Shenmue, which apparently is supposed to be okay. I haven't really watched it. They've got Fina, Pirate Princess Fina, but you can literally watch that. Princess Pirate Fina or whatever, but you can watch that wherever. My thing is, they got to do something epic. They've got to do something controversial. Go for it.
I mean, they could do all that, and then another thing they could do is introduce a new anime.
One they made.
I mean, they could make their own, or just find one that hasn't been bought out yet, and then have exclusives.
New, yeah.
Actually, what Isaac said would be the smartest thing, because if
there's a treasure trove of things.
That's kind of what helped Netflix and their anime. They would get anime that wasn't on Funimation, that wasn't on Crunchyroll, that was Netflix exclusives. If they can do that, honestly, if they can do that and it's an anime that takes off, I probably would start watching Konami again.
I mean, if I was them, throw money out, get 5 shows. If one of the 5 shows stake, great. And to toss another 5 up there. And the thing is,
I'd also be cool if I'm going back to some old school stuff. I saw Space Battleship Yamato or something like that come in.
I mean, it'll be cool.
Original Macross. I mean,
Toonami would be smart if they went for I don't know what the probability of this, but they'd be smart for going after something like Chainsaw Man.
That would be a grab. That would be an amazing play. The pitch is that, bro.
But the thing is, it's being produced by Mappa, so it's either going to Funimation or to Netflix, because it's being produced by Mappa. So, but that would be a good one to try to get their hands on, even if they don't have Toonami Jail exclusivity. They would be smart to try to get some kind of airing rights to it. Depending on when the dub would be available for it. And then I don't know. I don't think Call of the Night isn't really their style, but that is another new one that's popular.
You just been on that Call of the Night kick, baby. I understand. It would be nice though.
Yeah, but another thing they could possibly do is not necessarily get an anime from Japan, but what's it called, Jacob, when they're from Korea?
Manhwa. Yeah, I was gonna toss
Manhwa. Yeah,
if they try to beat out Crunchyroll to try and grab manhwas, Solo Leveling, for instance, is gaining a lot of popularity with the release of the. I have the first 3 already, and I'm gonna buy the light novels too. I love that series, by the way. I will definitely sponsor that if they ever want us to. I say everyone should read it. It's one of my favorite series. I've already read it twice over, but
I'm down the light novel for it. Read the light novels. I try to read the original source material of the works rather than the mangas of them.
All right, so this will be completely random again, but I'm gonna open up. I opened up my my Crunchyroll, right, to see what was the last thing I watched.
Oh,
the last time I was on Crunchyroll was almost for 12 days off. 12 days from now, it would be my 5-year anniversary of not being on there. Because
what was the last thing you watched?
All of it's the same, but the last episode, the thing I watched was Naruto Shippuden season 17, episode 348, the new Akatsuki.
Jesus.
And then I watched 5 minutes. I think I hit an ad, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, I the last time I was on there was about a week ago for Tokyo Revengers.
Oh yeah, no, and then the first thing I watched. See, that's how my history is so small. Dude, the first thing I watched was season 9, episode 184, or Naruto Shippuden. January 8th, 2011.
I really hope that this merger brings some stability to the Crunchyroll apps, because people always.
Oh my gosh.
People always complain about the stability of Funimation. I don't know what they're talking about. Funimation has never caused me any problems. Crunchyroll has always caused me problems.
Yeah, no.
So hold on. Let me finish.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it's weird. I could watch all of Tokyo Revengers on the Crunchyroll app, right? But so this is for PlayStation, right? So this is the reason why I'm pointing my TV. So I could watch all of that through the PlayStation 4 app, but for some reason it would not play The World's Finest Assassin through PlayStation, but I could watch it just fine on my phone. Yeah. It's weird. Like it would say that there was a problem with my connection, but then I would go to some other program and be like, okay, we're going to play this for you. Like, what the hell?
Yep, that's Princess Connect Redive, man. I don't know what it was, but like getting through the in the middle of season 1, I couldn't get episode 9 to open for like I was like, okay, I literally sat on that for 10 minutes. Like I want it to play here. I'm trying to support your gotcha game, Crunchyroll. By God, let me watch it. No. Like
what's funny is the interface of what Crunchyroll, of what Funimation has now, as bad as it is. Dude, it was way worse before that facelift. But prior to that, dude, you couldn't play nothing to save your life. I remember I was trying to watch Air Gear, and I got hieroglyphics showing instead of the show. To where
they have issues for sure.
Like I had to uninstall the app, reinstall it. It worked. And then the next day, it crapped out again. So I had to uninstall it, reinstall it.
The day that Attack on Titan Part 2 started, I think it was also we were also in the thralls of the Japanese simulcast for Entertainment District. There was no watching Funimation for me those days. I just couldn't do it. Like nothing would load, nothing would work, nothing would play. And I would be watching things like I'd be watching reruns of My Hero Academia or reruns of Bofuri, just some of my trash anime that I put on in the background.
Oh, and Bofuri is cute.
Bofuri is fantastic. I don't know why I call it
fantastic. That hurt me. Like I don't know.
I think the reason why I call it trash anime is because I think a lot of people would classify it as trash anime because people don't get it.
Isekai is trash. Like no. That is the main. Is it another isekai? Then obviously it's isekai trash, and it technically isn't. But I mean, it's a gaming one.
It's wholesome. Like it's wholesome.
It is.
Nothing happens. It's so much fun. Everyone's happy at the end of the day, and it's just like
it is masterful too.
Uh huh.
It's masterful too. That's its own topic. If you ever want to talk to me about Bofuri, I think it's a masterful anime that gets slept on hard.
I'm trying to find a new bloody gory anime. I haven't found one yet. Any suggestions?
Man, we'll get Chainsaw Man later this year.
Yeah, that's a
Dead Man Wonderland. If you haven't watched it, but I mean, you should read it. But
wait, I've watched Dead Man Wonderland.
Dead Man Wonderland. If you haven't watched it, but you should read it because it stops in episode 12 when Al goes down.
I know.
Speaking of bloody anime, I'm disappointed that the anime has toned down the gore for Attack on Titan.
It feels like it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was getting tired of the shock value. Oh, hey, someone's going to get affected. Someone's going to die. Someone's going to go missing. But admittedly, it's like, now it's kind of like the Walking Dead syndrome. Now the zombies or the Titans are just kind of there. And we're really more interested in the fact that Armin wants to be a chick.
Dude, I said that to my fan.
I'm not that far into it. Let's.
Yeah. I'm toning down. But dude, I will say, I'm not gonna run it for you, but there's a season where, dude, I had the Walking Dead syndrome, and then when I mentioned it to my friend, they're like, "Dude, you don't know anime. You don't know anime if you think." I was like, "No," and I broke it down to detail how they were comparable. But how though?
I will say this though.
I'm just like,
the Titan, in my opinion, the Titans are more terrifying than any zombie out there. The way that those things look and the way that the way that their bodies sometimes are disproportionate, and the way that their faces are, just like stupid, like looking at like,
it was great. Like in a time where High School of the Dead, certain little like trying to be pseudo horrors, where people were pulling gore for horror, and you actually had a good mix of both gore and horror. I agree. Seeing a Titan like Han's reaction at the very beginning when he's like, "I'm gonna take down this Titan. I'm gonna save that." Looks up, it's like that's horrifying. Like turn it around, yeet.
But like,
Oh
okay,
man.
so I was really, so I was, I don't know. Okay, so like there are certain, as I read manga, there are certain scenes that always kind of stick out to me, and I'm like, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they handle this in the anime. And as I was reading, I think at this point it would have been volume 2. There was a scene where this woman was doing CPR to like her husband or something, like, and like the manga shows that he is actually like, in fact, like completely severed, and like you can actually see it, and then like the anime just sort of alluded to it without blatantly showing it. Now I understand why they have to do that because of like censor issues. There's different there's probably different things that can be censored in manga versus different things that have to be censored in television. I understand that, but still, it's just like I feel like they could have done that better to actually show it, because to me, for some reason, that was kind of like, I don't know if iconic is the right word to pick there, but it definitely is just like, okay, it's like there's definitely a brutality of what's happening right now and a severity of what's happening right now, and this panel in the manga shows it, and you don't get that same impact in the anime. That same scene. So I was disappointed, because I was disappointed when I saw that in the anime. Not to say that the anime is brilliant so far, but like I was like, oh man, I feel like they probably could have done something different with this, and it's like I just didn't get that same brutality impact with the anime, and I was kind of I was a little disappointed.
I agree, and that type of stuff. So you said that, you were reading Death Note. Have you ever watched Death Note?
I always try to read the source material before I watch it.
But you have read it, like, and you're pretty far. You had told us, Isaac, you've watched and read it.
What
correct? Death Note.
I watched the first episode of Death Note, but I've decided to just continue reading.
I'm so old to where I can say I watched all of Death Note on YouTube before anime got banned on YouTube.
That's fair. So my thing about that is, and so you've already read it, and you'll see it when you watch it, but you already know about the scene where Naomi, the wife of Mr. Pimber,
that messed me up. That messed me up.
No. So that right there, even in this is literally Toonami playing that, showing that scene where she gives him her name, and he just plays it masterfully. But then the look of sheer horror on her face when he tells her in the final seconds, well, that's just because I'm Kira. And that horror face that won awards. That one absolutely, like that one scene was fantastic.
Yeah.
To be able to show and convey so much pain, anguish, and fear like that, which usually in anime goes over the top. If someone's scared, they scream really, really loud, like kind of out of the ordinary, and then she walks up the gallows to the guillotine. That right there, I feel, is way worse than watching someone in this day and age that would have been, because of this kind of war torn and monstrosity based anime, like someone torn in half. It's like, yeah, I mean, we kind of assumed that. We watched Aaron's mother die under a roof, like, obviously this is getting pretty bad,
I will say, like, jumping on that, what you're saying, like, there are some animes that don't like show the full picture like the manga does, and it takes away and it sucks. Death Note, I would say that they covered it pretty good.
I've heard.
I'm not saying they did wrong. What I'm saying is, comparing the two, I think it was way more horrifying to watch her walk up those gallows and to see the implications than it would have been for in this monster anime where we've already seen people dismembered, and after the actual televised, even in the West on Toonami and stuff like that, the televised Dead Man Wonderland. To then have them censor that, to me, is pointless. It's not going to entice fear or anything, in my opinion. Anybody who's watching this should not be watching if they're not of age, anyways. And I honestly had nightmares about Naomi over that.
I am dreading that. I'm dreading watching that scene. Like, it's kind of like,
it messed me up as a kid, and it still gets me as an adult. It's like, ugh.
You know what's funny is, I guess I'm just heartless because I remember that scene, and I remember just laughing like, "Oh, you got played."
That's fucked.
It was beautiful. My thing was, this is what cements it as one of the best, hands down. This boy is playing chess in a game of checkers,
Literally.
and then you find out it's effing 3D chess in a game of straight chess.
No, then you find out he's playing chess with every person in Japan and still smacking them.
Dude,
yeah,
and like how he got L was brilliant. Like it's like holy crap. Like this is like
not just getting L, but also getting rid of the only other factor keeping him from fully controlling Misaka. His Misa, yeah, it was getting rid of her.
Getting rid of Rem.
Getting rid of Rem, and the only way was to trick a literal death god. And I'm like, look at this man. Look at this boy made man. Look at Icarus literally flying into the sun and being like, your son. You know, like, oh, it was beautiful.
Dude, not only that, but even though L died,
he definitely deserved what happened next.
Even though L died, I still, even then, I wasn't like, oh my god, he died. Once I saw how it played out, I was like, oh, L, you beautiful son of a. When he had his two apprentices show up.
Wait, he's not there.
I just met. Where am I at? So I'm a few chapters past L's death. L's death kind of traumatized me a little bit.
A lot of people were really rooting for him.
But where am I at? So the police commissioner just committed suicide.
How beautiful is that? And this is why Death Note was in its own class. Because before Attack on Titan, where you got that shock value, you got Death Note to where, all right, the good guy always wins. The good guy always wins. And then he dies. And you're like, what? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Not only does he die, but he dies halfway through the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is hardcore.
And there's just so many things like his just before it when he washes his or rubs his feet or whatever, and it's almost like a plead. Like, okay, I see now. You know, like this human point, and there's so much to it. I will say this though, L is one of the biggest G's of all time. Episode 2, baby, it will always be that way because episode 2 was a showcase of how smart Light is. For what he's doing, that whole contraption with the notebook that would set on fire. It's like, wow, this kid is obviously a genius. He's obviously Japanese because we were all racist back then. And
he'll take the potato chip and eat it.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying episode 2. So episode 2, when L comes into the picture and decides to do a broadcast showing some guy saying, Kira, you will not win. You're crazy. You're deranged, and I will stop you. And he's just like, oh, you think so? And then he does, and all of a sudden, L comes like, wow, good on you. That's actually really impressive. By the way,
we know you're in Japan.
Only did it here. Yeah, you're in Japan, and you're connected with the higher ups. It's like with the police force, like.
He literally went from this to narrowed it to this in one episode.
And now all my life is literally dedicated to redubbing Ryuk's voice with Willem Dafoe. I want to hear him laughing in that scene whenever L trumps him on TV. Like if you heard the Green Goblin laugh right behind him, one, could you really be upset?
No.
I haven't. I don't know much about the Netflix adaptation, but honestly, Willem Dafoe would probably be a really great Ryu.
No. Watch it for him. Watch it for him.
Everyone questioned a live action Death Note. No one questioned Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. Everyone's like, this looks like trash. This looks like trash. And then it shows Willem Dafoe and doing the laugh and eating the apples like, well, I don't got anything to do this Sunday, I guess. I guess
I remember when it was announced and everybody, because I was part of the group that was mad. Like, oh, you're whitewashing this. Great. We're not going to watch this. This is stupid. And, how they went about it and so many boycotts and a lot of people yelling and screaming. And then the image of Ryuk and Willem Dafoe and then it just got quiet.
Well, because at that point, it's like, I will give it a chance,
Yeah,
but I'm going to keep my second right here.
And
you know,
it was as bad as everyone thought it was, but
oh, it was terrible.
But
Absolutely terrible.
But Willem Dafoe's Ryuk made it worth watching.
Like the only way to save that would have been half that movie being Ryuk, just like really just him just messing around then Light screwing up in English. Like
if Willem Dafoe or if Ryuk was just literally sitting in a chair eating apples and just staring at me, and every now and again he'll say a word and laugh, I would have died a happy man.
Oh, and occasionally he throws in quotes from other movies we've seen him in. You know,
dude, starts quoting the Green Goblin for Spider-Man.
I love Ryuk because he's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's just along for the ride. He's just kind of like, this is entertainment. This is entertainment for me.
I did like that. So you're on my side. Sure. Like, sure. Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean he makes it very clear that he's not. He's like, I'm not on your side. I'm just here for the ride.
I mean, and then he proves that where, you know, Light's doing something, he's like, oh, good on you, kid, you're smart. And then L comes up out of nowhere, and L's like, oh, he got you.
So I was talking about the Naomi scene and stuff where she realizes and stuff, but leading up to that, where Light is just laying it on heavy to manipulate her, to giving him the name, like she herself says, "Wait, I have something to confess," and Ryuk stops and just starts like you'll see the scene, man. It literally cuts out to silhouette, and he's just laughing uncontrollably. It has to show him walking away, doubled over laughing because of just what he saw was so entertaining. And that's when that whole scene is one of my favorites of all time. It's definitely, but it's Ryuk is really what sells it there, because he's my reaction. He's everyone's reaction. No freaking way! He is the absolute like paragon. He is the embodiment of ROFLMAO. Like this guy laughs nonstop. Like so this is great. Sorry,
I was gonna start wrapping up, but finish out last thoughts.
My last thought would be find the novels for Death Note, and then
the novels or the manga.
The novels.
Oh,
there's
okay.
two.
Yeah, the novels.
Two novels that are amazing.
Was it Change the World and
L Changes the World, and then Story of B. Story of B is based on Naomi's interaction with L, and then L Changes the World is based off after the movie, the live action movie, because like I said, the live action movie catches up to the anime to a certain point
and then differs,
and then differs. And honestly, the way they did it, I'm not mad. And with that novel, you'll see why.
Okay.
If I had some advice, I would say to wait until Jacob buys more novels, and then he'll lend them to you, and then just pretend to lose them while putting them on your bookshelf.
That too.
It helps. So, I think I actually am, just going back to original topic, I am excited for Crunchyroll to buy, to finally get it. I am definitely advocating for it. It's a smart move. It's definitely a business move, but it is a smart move, and it helps me support it again. I definitely will. I'll even consider buying the premium just to legally give it to people I know.
And I'm I'm really hoping that with this Crunchyroll merger that I get to see Bryce Peppenbrook do the voice of Ko in Call of the. No, I'm just kidding. Just give me more Bryce. Give me more Bryce Peppenbrook, guys. I just need more. I need more Kirito. I need more Eren. I need more Inosuke. Just give me more. No, I'm just kidding. No. At the end of the day, no. I think it's really fun. I hope that it brings. I hope that it brings more stability to being able to stream and watch anime. I'm hoping that. Oh God, not to springboard us into another topic. I know you're trying to wrap it up, but I'm really one thing that I always really liked about Funimation is that they translate things really well. As in like what they do is they take the credit. So no. What I'm talking about is like the credits, right? They will actually give they will actually translate the Japanese words into English words to where I can read who. That way I can read
Yes.
like they do that, and I'm really hoping that they do that on Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll doesn't do that, and I like to be able to, even though it's still all in Japanese, I still want to be able to read it, in English phonetics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
so
I'll see
like
why
I'm really
not.
hoping that I'm really hoping they bring quality like word translation over to Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll does not have that. So, and this is not a dub versus sub comment. This is just simply like a Japanese to English text translation that I'd like to see.
I don't want to hear another dub unless it's Ghost Stories dub. Like, if they don't do it with that type of quality coming into it, I don't even want to be a part of it. I'm cool with all sub, unless you're going to go back.
I don't know if he knows Ghost Story stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Ghost Stories. It's okay. Jacob didn't know till recently, and it is definitely a topic for another time about how beautiful. We should talk about that. Like, if you and me, Whip, or maybe a DLC, a Dude Lunch Chat, we can. That is great. Ghost Story dub has to be one of the greatest trash fires of all time. And but yeah,
go Bryce Peppenbrook, go Kirito, go Air. No, just kidding. But like,
all of the night, come to me. Like,
but I just thought it was funny when I started Attack on Titan. I was like, there's more Bryce Peppenbrook. We love him, but he's everywhere.
Hey, it took me until the end of 7 Deadly Sins to realize that Meliodas was Bryce Peppenbrook.
Just
No, I actually give it to him for his range, from Inosuke to Kirito and all these others. And then for me, listen, like, it's a high pitched thing, but it sounds more playful, like a child thing. Maybe he's someone I didn't even think about it.
So would you say that guy is like the Troy Baker of anime?
No,
he's slowly becoming the Vic Mignogna of anime, because you're hearing him everywhere, mostly in main characters. But no matter what, you will always hear him as Kirito.
The Troy Baker, honestly, Troy Baker has solid range and can kind of disguise his voice really, really well. I'm trying to think who's out there who could do that, and that right now nobody at Funimation has that ability. No disrespect to Funimation, but I think it's really hard to do it. I think it's really Troy Baker will go into something and be like, do a role, and then at the end of it, it's like that was Troy Baker. Like,
I mean, his Joker was. I don't know. He was Joker for the longest time. I was like, okay, that's pretty. I mean, it ain't no Mark Hamill, but it's pretty good.
Bryce Peppenbrook is actually, so if we're not going as old as Vic Mignogna, because he's still an Icona one, he'd be kind of similar to like hearing Chris Sabat.
Yeah.
No matter what, his voice, and wherever you heard him first is what you're going to hear every time. Like Chris Sabat's only confused me with one voice he's ever done, and that was Masa in My Bride is a Mermaid. That got me until I was like, wait, hold on a second. This is one smooth, beautiful voice, but it's low and groovy.
Right. The person who's on their way to being the Troy Baker of anime is J. Michael Tatum. J. Michael Tatum is on his way, because you know what, he's not quite there yet, but I am always blown away when I'm like, oh, that was J. Michael Tatum, like, because he can shift his voice pretty good. So that's my take on that. Anyway,
but yeah,
but
sorry,
no, you're good. So all right, it's gonna wrap things up. So. Thanks everyone who stopped by, watched. Fortunately for us, we have like 3 episodes in this podcast, so that's gonna be nice. So I'm gonna chop that up and release it throughout the week or
chopped
next week,
and screwed, baby. Take it back to D-Town.
Yes, sir. But if you guys have any comments or suggestions, Jacob, where can they find us?
Well, if you're listening to this on our podcast platforms, subscribe to our YouTube at Dudeless Chat. And if you are watching this, check us out on Instagram at Dudeless Chat, TikTok at Dudeless Chat, Instagram at Dudeless Chat, and that's about it.
Alrighty. And Mr. Whips, thanks for joining us again. Brent.
Thank you for having me.
Brent with an N.
Brent with an N. Yeah.
There we go. Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Work in Progress. I do have an Instagram. It's whip_media_slow. I post nonsense there, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
I'll
also
have his link.
find him right here in my heart.
But yeah, no. So moving forward, I think Whip might be joining us a lot more often. If
Yeah,
not,
I'd love to be
if
here.
not, if not
Whenever you guys
weekly.
want me, I'm happy to be around.
So yeah, look forward to that. And then, another thing too before we go, me, Jacob, and Juicy discuss some plans for more content. That way, we can provide more entertainment because I've been slacking because of work and school. But fortunately, after this week,
We're all disappointed in him.
I know. But after this week, I could get back to streaming because everything that needs to get done will be done for a limited time. But by that point, I could make a whole schedule. But yeah, we got some new show. I guess one show we're throwing out there is Dude Let's Coach. So look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna go into too much detail, but it's in the name. Dude Let's Coach. You figure out what they could be. And yeah, so catch us every Thursday at 9:30 Central Time, baby. Catch you guys next time. Bye.